Hi, my name is Susa. I'm an English teacher. I'm actually your coach to how to go from fear to confidence to speak English. So, yeah, I have been teaching English for 25 years now, 10 years in Paris, and then 15 years in Quebec City. And I myself learned French from zero, so I know how it feels not to know what to say, to fear that people will just go blah, 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 and you have no idea what they're saying, and you just wish that the earth could suck you in. And yet, I found a solution, and that solution spread out to other areas of my life. I'm not saying that fear will completely go away, but we can learn how to manage it, how to find enjoyment even if things aren't perfect, and we can learn how to have compassion for ourselves when we don't know everything. So let's get started. So today we're going to talk about what to do when you don't know when people ask you a question. Questions often start a conversation, so they are like the first thing that will happen. And a lot of my students throughout the years, they've told me that they fear the moment when they're in a meeting and then the big boss asks them a question and they just have no clue. And then oftentimes people have told me that when they ask, please, can you repeat? Then the person will say the same thing, but even faster. And then oftentimes we all feel like we don't have the right to ask the third time. So we just either admit that we didn't understand, which often isn't a good solution, especially if you are in a management position and you are supposed to have your stuff together, or we end up saying something hoping that it's not too much off topic. So, number one thing that you can do to avoid or to prepare or to be more at ease in situations like that is to pay attention to the first and basically the last or the verb that will come in the end. Oftentimes, questions will start with a question word that will be your key, and then there will be a verb like, what would you like to eat? What would you like to eat? So, if you can catch the what and eat, you're at the restaurant, it's a waiter, so you understand, oh, they would like you to tell them what you would like to order. What would you like to eat? What would you like to eat? So pay attention to the question word and then the verb at the end. Maybe the question will be, what would you like to sit? What would you like to sit? Where would you like to sit? Oh, okay, you're looking at a venue, they have lots of seats. Where? Sit. So the person is asking you to tell them where you would like to be seated. Where would you like to sit? All right. Maybe the question could be, how much money have you made? How much money have you made? So now it's like how much and money that counts. So it might not be a verb. How much money have you made? How much money have you made? So you know you're in a business meeting. You're talking about the monthly results. How much money have you made? Have you made? Well, there are lots of interesting points in that one. So how much money have you made? Making money, right? The question could be, where did you go on vacation? Where did you go on vacation? Okay, so you're coming back from a vacation. Maybe this is like a business dinner. So they're asking you, where did you go on vacation? So that is a thing that you can practice. You can practice by yourself by finding a question, maybe dictating a question in your native language. Où est-ce que tu es allé? Where did you go? And then finding that intonation there. Maybe consuming some TV shows or YouTube videos. Practice finding those 2 key points. Another very useful tip is to practice some of the key vocabulary that might happen in that situation. So if you're going to a coffee shop, for example, so you might write in Google Translate the words that you think might happen in your native language. Americano, latte, café allongé. And then you get those said in English. Americano is americano. Latte is latte. So some people have difficulty to recognize the word. Est-ce que vous avez du Wi-Fi? Do you have Wi-Fi? 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 So the more you're used to the pronunciation of the words in English, the more you will be on the top of your game when they ask you, would you like Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. Okay, that is helpful. Or where is the Nike store? Nike? Oh, Nike. Nike in English. We say Nike in North America. So these are 2 tips that can really help you. So practice questions, practice saying them, practice hearing them, get the hang of catching the 2 main points, the question word and the verb most likely, or another important word. And then second, practice key vocabulary, how that will sound in English. Dictate it in your native language if you'd like, or just type it out and see how that is pronounced. Because some names of cities, they are pronounced in a very particular way. Would you like to go to Tucson? It's spelled like toxin. It's a city in Arizona, but it's pronounced Tucson. Or Louisville in Kentucky. Is this plane going to Louisville? Louisville. So the more you're familiar with pronunciation in English, the more you will be at ease, the more you'll go from fear to confidence. And so practice whatever you can. Practice by saying things out loud. Louisville, Louisville, Louisville. Or latte, latte, latte. Don't be scared to feel like a fool. You can do it at home. So you just say the word 3 times on your own. Maybe make some sentences like, excuse me, I would like to know when is the next plane to Louisville, right? And these 2 things will really get you from that mindset of fear to that mindset of confidence. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress, transforming yourself, and accepting that nobody really is perfect, right? So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Subscribe to my channel. This is all new. I plan to post lots of things here. I'm changing things up and moving my teaching a lot out here. So I would love to see you back. Bye-bye for now.